Hello everyone! Jurassic World Evolution 2, Dominion Malta Expansion, as well as Update 5 have just launched, so you can enjoy all of the new content in your game starting right now. What we're gonna do in this video is go through the patch notes, so all of the content in this video is not part of the Malta Expansion, it's just part of free update number 5, and it's important to go through the patch notes to make sure that we're not actually missing some exciting things. Starting with an exciting thing, if you own the Dominion Biosyn expansion, you now have rocks from that expansion. So let us scroll down over here. Here you go. We have Alpine Rocks. This is a new rock set. You can use this across all of your sandbox maps. And they're just nice, new, mossy rocks. I actually spotted these in Frontier's livestream last week, and I was like, new rocks? Yes, new rocks. This is, however, only if you have the Dominion Biosyn expansion. And speaking of stuff that you only get in this free update if you have other DLCs, the skin update. Update 5 includes a skin update that only applies to DLC dinosaurs. For example, this Giga right here. So you need to have the Dominion Biosyn expansion to get this dinosaur, and then instead of just having this skin, you now have all of these skin options. This applies to the Giga and the Dreadnoughtus from the Dominion Biosyn expansion. It applies to the Uranosaurus and Kentrosaurus variants from the Camp Cretaceous DLC, and the Iguanodon from the newly released Dominion Malta expansion. So only if you have any of those dinosaurs from those DLCs do you get this awesome new skin system, skin option. And how that works in the hatchery itself, you can see here that this is the default body variant, 1 of 3. The second one is the Kentrosaurus 2015. This is from the Camp Cretaceous DLC. And another option you have is to completely randomize it. So the game randomly picks between the two body variants. But if we go over here, you know, we have Pierce, the Pierce skin, that's this one. But again, from this menu, you can just select all of these other skins. Do note that the skin preview at the left does not change based on what you picked. So these skin samples are still the only previews we have. A new quality of life update is when you transport a dinosaur, either from the hatchery or a tranquilized dinosaur in your park, you can see the relationship that it'll have with the other species in your park. For example, if I put this Baryonyx in with the T-Rexes, they will fight. Here with the flying reptiles, however, you can see that they are neutral. And here you see that I already have Baryonyx there, the same species. If it's a like species, the icon will be a little blue heart. Do note that the minus doesn't necessarily mean that it won't hunt that specific dinosaur, so it's not a guarantee of survival. Using a toggle, you can now have the liked plants of a dinosaur highlighted in green, so you know that you're doing your job correctly. Something huge in Update 5 are 5 new Challenge Mode levels, so that's really exciting for Challenge Mode fans. We have the Arizona Breakout, the Washington State Wreckage, Pennsylvania Headquarters, Oregon Aviary, and California Photography. In Arizona Breakout, this area of Arizona desert is home to groups of wild dinosaurs. Even with a clear lack of buildable space and a hostile environment, the DFW wants to set up a new kind of operation. You are the one chosen to make sure this operation profits the organization. Can you pull it off? Washington State Wreckage. This poacher camp has been completely destroyed from within, and whatever happened here left many dinosaurs roaming wild across the mountainside. The dinosaurs are suspected to have psychological trauma. Do you have the skills to both heal the dinosaurs and turn this into a successful facility? Pennsylvania Headquarters. The DFW has decided on this location for their central headquarters. This is your chance to manage it from the very beginning. Are you capable of taking care of all the dinosaur emergencies from across the country at the same time? Oregon Aviary. This DFW base was used to capture flying reptiles. At some point, it seems as if something went very wrong and the workers had to flee. Can you try again and make this a successful DFW facility to take care of flying dinosaurs and make a profit? Note that it says flying dinosaurs. That's a oh, they're gonna regret that one. And finally, California photography. Yosemite National Park is now a haven for all kinds of dinosaurs to live freely in the wild. While this area is mostly forbidden for humans, the DFW will be allowed to send a vehicle to take pictures for research purposes. You will only have a limited time to take those pictures. This was a super fun challenge mode. The new challenge modes also come with new challenge conditions. You have tranquilizer upgrades found in Arizona Breakout, Washington State Wreckage, and Pennsylvania Headquarters. Default tranquilizers now only work on dinosaurs with level 1 and 2 security ratings, and you have to research additional upgrades. So for example, if your T-Rex breaks out, obviously that has a higher security rating, you have to make sure that you have researched the additional upgrades, otherwise you will not be able to tranquilize that rampaging T-Rex. Another one is psychological trauma, found in Washington State Wreckage and Pennsylvania Headquarters. Dinosaurs within the ailment of psychological trauma require scientists with the trait of psychologists to cure them. So you hire specific scientists with this trait, just as we hire scientists with, like, the cheap trait. We have a brand new photo level, which I played during a live stream yesterday, surprise live stream. It's a super fun level. It takes place on the California Photography Challenge mode, and it gives you a timed photography mission to reach 5 stars. You get a mission to photograph an X number of species, doing an X number of behaviors, and accumulate an X number of overall value for your photographs. It's super fun. Staff hiring requirements found within Pennsylvania Headquarters and Oregon Aviary. Specific staff members, experts, have requirements that need to be met before they let you hire them. Experts will also have more skill points and 2 specific character traits. Experts are available for a fixed period of time and cannot be refreshed. I haven't tested this out yet, so I don't know quite how this applies specifically, but I can imagine that, for example, a certain expert you can't hire until you have researched lagoons, because lagoons is their area of expertise. You know, something like that. The tiny dinosaurs behavior we have explored extensively in yesterday's video, my free update video. Added groups attacks for the tiny dinosaurs on guests and goats, so that's Morris Intrepidus from the Malta DLC, and the Compsognathus, which is in the base game. Note only guests and goats, not other small dinosaurs. They turned off collision between tiny dinosaurs and guests, which means they can't bowl over the guests. They turned off collision between tiny dinosaurs and vehicles, so your vehicle doesn't, like, ram into a compy as if it's ramming into an actual boulder. And they adjusted navigation logic so tiny dinosaurs navigate around water. And as I showed in yesterday's video, this also works for containing the species. Just make sure that the water is deep enough that they can't go through. This one is especially for the PS4 players who recently updated to the PS5. You now have the ability to import your PS4 save files to the PS5 version of the game. Update 5 also adds 2 new achievements and trophies for Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. Now, the UI changes show the outlines of territory/dinosaurs of that species when transporting a dinosaur. Added dinosaur highlight when assigning tranquilized and transport tasks. Show an ailments plus tranquilized icon when controlling the capture team or adding a new task. I will say this, as well as this one, is not working for me right now. Maybe it works in your game, maybe because I had early access, it's not working properly for me, but I am not getting these options. So yeah, let me know if it works for you guys, otherwise might be a bug with this update. Highlight dislike dinosaurs or show an icon when transporting, we covered that one. Adjusted how territory is displayed during terrain editing. Highlight liked plants during terrain editing, we've covered that. Highlight currently placed brush during terrain editing. Disable challenge mode splash on challenge mode San Diego and challenge return to Isla Nublar. Not quite sure what that one means. Made lagoon and aviary preview rings highlight the map boundary. I think the preview rings are these things over here. And I guess the map boundary now lights up sooner? I don't know. Personally, this doesn't feel very different to me from how it was before, but I'm assuming It's a little different. What annoys me personally is what they should have actually done is at this point, the ring that like intersects with the map border, that preview ring, this one right here, in front and center, that one should be red because I can't place there, but it's still blue. However, obviously I can't place that one. Now, sometimes it's obvious, but sometimes not so much because of the terrain constraints. So for example, the ring at the top right there should have been red because I cannot place the next one there. So that's something I kind of hope they do for the next update. Fight notifications are sent earlier to notify you when two dinosaurs are fighting. They added a notification when a tour is disabled by a storm. Research outposts now show a reduced view symbol during conditions that reduce the visibility from the outposts. Inspecting a dinosaur's territory now highlights the other dinosaurs in the territory when the alpha is selected. Again, something I don't know. I don't see anything. I have the alpha selected over here. Nothing is highlighted. There is no toggle at the bottom to highlight anything. I don't know what's going on. Added the body variant selector to the genome editor and species viewer. We've covered that. Tour vehicles now honk at dinosaurs, blocking their way and even making sleeping dinosaurs react to being honked at. Added ability to show a dinosaur's liked paleo preferences whilst editing the environment. That's the highlight, the green highlight that we covered. Dinosaur cohabitation changes. Parasaurolophus and Maiasaura are now friendly to each other. Pyroraptor now dislikes Scorpius Rex and Indominus Rex, so there's a little feud going on there. Australovenator now also dislikes Scorpius Rex. Aw, poor Scorpius Rex can't make any friends. Territory decays more slowly near desirable feeders that are inside the territory. Made lagoon feeders more lenient when deciding if they're inside a territory. They made some camera improvements inside the lagoon to help you while decorating your lagoon. The camera is kept below the water surface while rotating it. Camera will no longer leave the lagoon when moving into the lagoon walls. Made it easier to put the camera near the water surface by zooming out without leaving the water. And the position of the object being placed is more consistent while rotating the camera. A lot of people have been struggling and have been getting annoyed with decorating the bottom of the lagoons with how the camera behaves, so they fixed that. And for PC only, added support for NVIDIA Streamline, DLSS 3, and NVIDIA Reflex. And now we're getting into the bug fixes, and before I go through the entire list, I want to talk about one of them specifically, and it's at the bottom right here. Fixed rare case of dinosaurs leaving enclosures without breaking out. I think this addresses the problem that is not rare at all. It is a very common problem of dinosaurs phasing out of the phasing through the enclosure walls and escaping that way. So they don't actually damage the fence during an animation that plays. They just phase through the walls and are set loose in your parks. I think that's what this refers to, even though, again, it's not rare at all. It happens in every single park. But I hope that it is indeed now fixed. And right above that is also a common bug that has been plaguing the game, where flying dinosaurs, and they don't mean flying reptiles, they mean dinosaurs in transit, you know, being flown back and forth with the helicopter. Those flying dinosaurs got stuck during the flight. You could see like a helicopter hovering above your hatchery and it just wouldn't leave. And then this queue of other transport helicopters started lining up behind it. It seems that that has now been fixed. Alright, but back to the top. Vehicle bug fixes. Prevented helicopters from being buried under the terrain. Adjusted the speed in which gates open for tour vehicles to be quicker. Adjusted the position of the aerial drone photo camera so that the gun barrel isn't visible at any rotation. That's nice, you can take better pictures that way. Okay, so now, dinosaur bug fixes. A lot of ragdoll bug fixes. You know, flying reptiles falling through the floor, sauropods ragdolling unnaturally when being transported, dinosaurs occasionally ragdolling unnaturally when being lowered into a paleomedical facility. Just a lot of ragdolling has been fixed. Let's keep it at that. They also fixed camera going wild when Chronosaurus attacks the lagoon wall when viewing from a certain angle. I feel like that applied to more than just the Kronosaurus. Prevent the dinosaurs from attempting to eat from empty fish feeders. Fixed delivered dinosaurs potentially arriving with feeder-related diseases where the cure cannot be immediately researched. Infected feeders can now not be moved or deleted, preventing completion of related research cures. Dang, so that little cheat no longer works. Fixed medication available showing in sandbox levels for diseases when cure has not been researched. Fixed situation where dinosaurs would remain stationary for long periods when there was lots of food nearby that was all unreachable. This is an interesting one, I never even noticed this. They fixed several Styxosaurus skins not matching their preview in the species viewer. Honestly, this is just a lot of tiny fixes. Like, they added the Dominion logo to some of the missing film characters, stuff like that. If you want to read this in particular, you can pause and read it, but there's nothing really special in here, in my opinion. For landscapes, they fixed background mountains vanishing in Arizona campaign level. That's absolutely hilarious. For decorations, they fixed fish particles around lagoon decorations going upside down, and fixed lagoon lights not rendering through the viewing gallery glass. That is a big one. I'm really happy with this one. So now when you beautifully decorate your lagoon floors, you can actually see it from your lagoon viewing areas. Apparently this was a thing, but they fixed it. Fixed being able to drop out of an ACU helicopter into a hatchery's enclosure. And finally, miscellaneous various stability fixes, various animation fixes, various audio fixes, and various text and localization fixes. Now let's talk about a big bug that I'm getting increasingly more comments about, so it really seems to be a big issue. And that is that apparently the game completely crashes on Xbox and is completely unplayable because of that. I'm getting several comments about that now. There's no mention of that specifically in this patch note. I do hope that it's something that they finally addressed. They just don't specifically mention it. So if you have the game on Xbox, if you are experiencing that problem, I hope that when you go into the game today, you'll be able to. Let me know in a comment down below if this has been fixed for you or not. We can now change the time of day in the sandbox select menu. So before you load into your sandbox map, you can change it to night, dusk, day, or the day-night cycle. And the flattened terrain option didn't save previously. They fixed that now. So if you set it to flattened, it'll save that preference for you. That concludes this overview of the patch notes. I really hope that you're going to enjoy free update 5. And if you're going to get the Dominion Malta Expansion, I hope you're going to love that as much as I do. And if you want to see creative park builds and stuff like that, then consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the game.